A VP of strategy walks out of a leadership team meeting. She spent 30 minutes weighing the trade-offs between two market entry options. She considered the competitive risk, the timeline pressure, the resource constraints, and the team's capacity to execute. Then she said, "We should go with option B." The room went quiet. 3 people asked why. 2 others looked unconvinced. The CEO later told her chief of staff, "She seems to have opinions, but I never know how she gets there." Everything that made her answer strong, the 30 minutes of careful reasoning, was invisible to the people who needed to see it. If that scenario felt familiar, you're in the right module. Your assessment confirmed the expression gap as your primary gap. You have the data. Now you need the intervention. In Module 2, we named this the expression gap, the most common pattern in coaching practice. The leader who processes deeply but displays little. You saw it in assessment data, high GNOS EQ awareness scores paired with low expression scores. You recognized it in your own feedback. Now you're going to do something about it. She processes deeply and displays little. The thinking is rich. The expression is minimal. She reaches strong conclusions and announces them without narrating the path. This pattern isn't a personality flaw. It's a habit formed by years of being the sharpest analytical mind in the room. In individual contributor roles, the conclusion was enough. Nobody needed to see the work. They needed the answer. In leadership roles, the equation flips. The audience needs to see the reasoning path because trust, alignment, and buy-in depend on it. When the audience doesn't see the trade-offs considered, the factors weighed, the alternatives rejected, they experience the decision as arbitrary. 2 people can reach identical conclusions, and the one who narrates the path generates 3 times the buy-in. The quality of the answer is not the differentiator. The visibility of the reasoning is. Take the same VP. Instead of "we should go with option B," imagine she says, "I weighed the competitive risk against the timeline pressure. Option A is faster, but exposes us to a market response we're not staffed to handle. Option B gives us 3 extra weeks and keeps our competitive position intact." Same conclusion, 60 seconds of visible reasoning. That would have generated alignment instead of resistance. The thinking was identical. The visibility was the variable. And notice, she didn't simplify her thinking. She didn't dumb it down. She made visible what she'd already processed internally. That's all narration is. A CTO presents a technology platform decision to the board. He's spent 2 weeks evaluating 4 platforms across 12 criteria. He walks in and says, "We're going with platform C." A board member asks, "How did you arrive at that?" He says, "It's the strongest option." The board doesn't push back on the decision, they push back on him. He doesn't bring us into his thinking. His direct reports describe the same pattern in team meetings. He announces and we comply, but we don't understand. His assessment data confirmed it. 88th percentile awareness, 35th percentile expression. The thinking is exceptional. The display of that thinking is nearly absent. Expression gaps are visibility practice, not confidence building. The confidence is already there. The internal processing is already strong. The work is making it external, narrating the thinking as it happens instead of announcing the result after it's finished. This is the core frame for every exercise in this module. You don't need more confidence. You don't need to think differently. You need to make visible what you already process internally. Think about your last significant decision at work. How much of your reasoning did the people in the room actually see? Not your conclusion, your reasoning. the factors you weighed, the alternatives you considered, the trade-offs you accepted. If the answer is very little, you're living the pattern we just described. Hold that specific decision in mind. You're going to practice narrating it in the next video. You can see the pattern now. The question is, what do you actually do differently? The next video gives you 2 exercises, the thinking out loud protocol and decision narration practice, specific, structured, and designed to produce measurable change within 4 weeks.